So I only got one email that somebody wasn't coming, so we're going to wait a little bit.
Well, while we're waiting, on page 10, line 6, I don't know why it's line 6, but the last two, would it be
They're
hamlachi,
both
hamlachi?
both are the same, by the way.
Right.
Hamlachi. They're both the same.
Hamlachi. So
Yep.
you don't pause between the mem and the lamed with the ah sound underneath it. You
Right.
just use hamlachi, lachi,
Yep.
lachi. I'm really trying to get that guttural sound.
It's hard. It's hard. It's very hard.
Am I late for the class?
We haven't started yet, Lila, so don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
We're waiting for people.
Okay, thank you very much.
I usually try and wait unless we're missing like one person, then we can start. But when we're missing this many, you know, like I said, I only got an email from one person that they couldn't make it. So we'll wait a little while and see who, you know, and see who comes on and whatever. And, you know, we never take the full hour here. So, so we have time. So
And what page are we starting on, Lymor?
we are going to start, good question. We are going to start on page 12. We went up to page 11 in the last three classes, the last two classes, right? Yeah. I feel like we've done so much. And I hope that, I mean, and I guess this is a good time to ask, since there's only a few people on, are you feeling like we're going too fast, too slow, too fast? There's no too slow. I think, you know, if anything, we're going too fast, or are we okay? Is everybody getting it? Is everybody, you know?
I think I'm okay with it.
You're okay with the speed? Okay.
With
How
the
about you,
speed, I think
Alice?
so.
I'm okay.
You're
I'm
good?
good.
Okay, good. And Shelby, I know you're catching up. Shelby's on. She just had a baby at the very beginning of class,
Oh,
and so she has two babies,
Mazal tov.
and she is juggling all of us. She's juggling the class and the two babies that she's got at home.
Luckily, my husband has the other one, but this is the newest.
Oh,
Oh,
Mazel
Aw.
tov, Mazel tov. How
Mazel
beautiful,
tov, yes.
beautiful.
They were laughing at me in the hospital because I was like reading some of the papers. They're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Studying."
Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm a little
beautiful.
behind, but I've done a couple of beginning Hebrew classes before, so I think I'm able to catch up.
okay. So page 11 is a very good page because it's basically the end of what they call unit 2. I don't even know what the units are, but it's a big review of everything we learned. So so if you need help, let me know and I'll get on the phone with you privately and we can go through what all these sounds and what all these what these vowels are. Do you have the page in front of you, by the way?
Yeah, I have it up on my
Okay.
computer.
All right, perfect. Because I have it up and I can share it, but I always like to see everybody. So if anybody doesn't have it in front, you know, the book in front of them, or, you know, in some way, shape, or form, I'm happy to do it. But I like to see your faces just in case somebody's confused. It's easier for me. I do have a second screen, so I could actually share it and still see you guys, but I like for you guys to see you guys too. So
If I
so,
disappear again, you know why.
all good, all good. You do what you have to do. So when I had my daughter, who was my first, I was working full time. I was teaching Hebrew school after, you know, the after school Hebrew school, and I was teaching a Mahjong class, and I was taking a class on reading Megillah. And I came home. My daughter wasn't due for another week and a half, and I came home on a Thursday night. I had done like everything in one day. Like I had done work, Hebrew school, the Megillah class, the Mahjong teaching, and then I came home, and my husband was like, you know, I walked in the door, I put all my stuff down. My husband said, "Oh," and I was in the kitchen. He said, "Oh, can you bring me a glass of water?" And I went to go get him a glass of water, and boom, my water broke all over the place. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even eat dinner yet. I'm so like, it was crazy. So I too was like chanting
Yeah.
Megillah in the hospital.
My husband was making fun of me. So I was due on the 14th, but I worked until the 10th basically. And I'm a mental health therapist. So a lot of my patients were like, how do you know that you're not going to have the baby yet?
Right.
And I'm like, my children respect me. She'll come closer to her due date. Don't worry. They were like, are you sure? I started having contractions like the Sunday before, and they were like 12 to 16 hours apart. And they kept getting closer and closer and closer. And then, Friday morning, they started getting to be like 15 minutes apart. My husband's like, maybe we should go to the hospital. And I was like, nah, we got plenty of time. I have to make food for the rest of the week. I got to make challah. Like, I don't have time for the baby right now. It gets to be like 3 p.m. They're like every 8 minutes apart. He's like, maybe we should go to the hospital. And I'm like, no, we got plenty of time. I'm almost done with laundry. And then like I finished laundry and all the cooking for the rest of the week. And at like 9:30, I was like, oh, we should probably go to the hospital. Like, she's coming. And then she came like 4 hours later.
Oh my.
Wow.
Oh, Sharon, Shelby's new to us, but she's been registered for the class since the beginning. She just happened to have a baby the first day of class. So, all right. So we have well, let's wait another few minutes. It's only 7:33, right? I try to get on early in case you guys want to chit chat or have any questions or anything like that. So
Well, I do have a question.
ask away.
Okay, it was about one of the reading, the lines that you were reading, and I didn't understand why a certain, let's see. I don't know if you want to do this when more people come or
No,
if
it's
this is
fine.
okay. All right, page 11, line 10.
Okay.
Okay, and in the reading, we had lay, and then when you go further down, cat, net, and then it was lee, and I'm not seeing why the second one in was lay, and the ones further down were lee.
No, they should be lay. If I said Lee, that was my mistake.
Oh,
So
okay.
the second word,
Thank you. Confused
the
me.
fifth word, and the sixth word should all be the same. You know, you
Also
can
lay.
totally email me during the week if something like that, and I can give you a
Oh.
quick call or whatever. Don't worry. If that confuses you, I don't
Uh-huh.
want you to practice something that's confusing because you'll end up learning it wrong. So
I
you
have
absolutely can-
question marks around it. So.
Okay, good.
But that's, thank you that we can contact you. Sure.
Absolutely. If I'm busy, then I won't be able to answer you right away. But like I said at the very beginning, I have my son's leaving tomorrow.
Oh, I thought it was
For-
last week. Oh,
No,
wow.
tomorrow he's leaving for 10 days in Poland and then 3 months in Israel.
This is big.
So yeah, well, it's the high school, you know, the senior class of high school, and he we just found out, I mean, the travel agent's dealing with it, like the school and the travel agent, whatever, that their flight to Poland was canceled.
Oh, no.
So they might not be leaving tomorrow. They might be leaving the next day, depending on when they can get it. And, you know, we're all worried about, well, is it canceled because of what's going on in
Yes,
Eastern
that was
Europe?
my
Or-
first thought. Is this canceled due to Mr. Putin?
Right. So we'll see. I mean, listen, you look at a map, the unrest that's happening is in the southeast of Ukraine. Where they're going, like Warsaw and Treblinka and all that, is really the northwest of Ukraine, the southeast of Poland. So it does border Ukraine, but it's on the other side of Ukraine. And Ukraine is I think the largest European country, if you consider Ukraine part of Europe as opposed to Asia. So I don't know. It was a Jeopardy question a couple weeks ago, and I
Was it?
it was like, yeah.
Lymor, which high school is doing this?
This is Golda Academy. It's a Schachter school down in West
Oh,
Orange,
sure.
New Jersey.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So yeah, where are you? Where do you live, Lila?
I'm in Cranford, New Jersey.
Oh, so you know the area.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, it
I'm
used
in
to be
Long
called-
Branch part-time.
Right, so it used to be
Part-time
called the
Long
Schachter of
Branch.
West, it used to be called the Schachter of Essex and Union.
Yes,
And they used to have a building in Cranford.
yes, that's right.
So my mom taught
Right.
there and they did. So that was
Oh.
years ago. That was, I want to say, my mom taught there in 1980, but I think they only closed the Cranford location in the early 2000s or something like that.
Something like that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. My good friend taught there for many, many, many years. Abby Halprin. You know Abby Halprin?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
listen,
Okay.
my kids
Your
just
mom probably did.
probably my mom taught in the middle school. My kids only went to the upper school. They didn't go to the lower school. So my son went from 6th grade on and my daughter from 9th grade on. So I really just know the upper school teachers. I don't
Right.
even know all the upper school teachers, only if my kids had them, because I wasn't in the building so much. Especially the last 2 years, nobody was allowed in the building. So,
Right. My girls all graduated Brewery High School in
oh,
Elizabeth.
okay.
My 3 daughters.
There you go. So, yeah. Okay, so let's start, even though we only have 7 of us, but that's okay. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to start with page 12. Everybody have pages or a book or access to a book in front of them? Yes. Okay, so
I
I'm
do.
not going to turn on the screen share unless we need to. So this letter is a shin, and it says the sound sh. So know that the dot on top of the shin is not a vowel. The dot on top of the shin makes it a shin, a sh. When the dot is on the other side, which we're going to learn in a few weeks, but I'm going to tell you, when the dot's on the left side, it makes a sound like our S. So just know that that's coming. You don't need to know it right now. Everything you see is going to be sh. Okay. So let's go. Let's do the first line together out loud. She,
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 shay,
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 yeah,
sha,
da,
sha.
da.
Perfect. All right, who wants to do line 2? Actually, I'm just going to call on everybody. Shelby, you'll let me know if you are available to do this, or if you're not wanting to
Sorry,
disturb.
I'm juggling today, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I am
Fine. So
following.
I'm not going to call on you, but if you want me to, then later and in a little while, then you'll just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Alice, how about line 2?
Shim, shim, shame, 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 sham, sham.
Wow, Alice has been practicing. Lila, line 3.
Sheol, sheol, shale, 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 shall, shall, shall.
Perfect. Let's go. Debbie, line 5, sorry. Claire, you want to do line 5?
Shall, shally, shally, shale, shale, chalet, shala, shala.
Okay, so let's talk about the, let me share my screen for a second. Am I sharing the screen? Okay, good. So let's talk about these 3, right? Okay, so it's chalet, chalet, and chalet. right?
Chalet.
There's a slight difference between the A and the E. So that, I mean, and that's tricky. And actually, so it's tricky. There's not a, it's not easy. Okay, let's go to,
Chalet.
correct. Terry, you want to do line, let's see, let's skip to line 8, Terry.
8. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Lame. Shalem. Shalom. Shalem. Shalem.
Yeah, do line 9 too, because line 8 had 4 of the same word. So I don't want to cheat.
Melech.
Melech.
Shalem. Shalhe.
Malche, that third word.
Malche. Oh,
Yep,
I was looking at the next one.
I know.
Shalem. Shame. Shalem.
Perfect. All right, Sharon, you get line 10. Line 10, also the first 3 words are the same. So let's go to line 11.
Okay. Lechem, lechem, shame, sham, shalem, lechem.
Lechem. Good, good, good. All right. Okay, so now remember we started talking about this last week, this shva, right? So let me share my screen again. Okay, so underneath the mem here, you see these 2 dots that look like a colon?
Mhm.
Yes.
That's a vowel that really doesn't have a an utterance with it. What that means is to stop, right? The shva, it's called a shva, as you see at the bottom of the page. And you don't need to know the names of the letters or the names of the vowels or anything. I'm just saying it so you have a little bit of background, but don't go studying that when you go studying. It basically tells you to stop, right? So if there was no vowel in this word, well, let's do this word. If there was no vowel in this word under the lamed, this would be malche. You would blend the lamed and the chaf together and go leche, right? When there is this shva underneath, this colon underneath, you're going to stop. So it's actually malche. It makes it kind of 2 syllables. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes, everybody understand that? Okay, so it's malche.
Okay. So you're not
Okay.
blending you're not saying mal hey. It's mal hey.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And so again, so you so you're making it 2 words, 2 syllables, right? It's the same word, but you're stopping. And that's what the shva tells you to do, is stop.
Stop.
So, okay, so who wants to do line 12? It's a little challenging, those last 2 words, but who wants to
I'll try it.
Okay, Lila, go ahead.
Okay. Shalem, lechem, mimelech, malche, malache, hamlachim.
Perfect. Now we're going to go back up to the first page because we know this book loves to show us that we could do this, right? So again, where are we? Okay, so here's the word malche, right? Now sometime, and this is where I'm going to confuse you a little bit, so stay with me and then we'll go back. Sometimes when people will sing this, right, they'll say, Mi melech malache, right? It's not malache, it's malche. So sometimes when we sing these things, and when I was at shul on Saturday, I was actually, they were doing a new tune, and some people behind me were enunciating different syllables and pronouncing the A like an and all that. And that happens a lot because when you're singing, you may enunciate different things to make it work with the tune, right? But this word is malche, even though when you sing it, it sometimes sounds like malache hamlachim hakadosh, right? And they will, but it's not an ah vowel underneath the lamed. So just something interesting to note. And if you sing it with the ah, nobody's gonna, haul you off to Shabbat jail. You'll be fine. Okay, all right. So let's go on to page 20. Any questions before we go on to the next page 13? Okay, so now we're going to learn another vowel that is actually a letter. So this is where things get a little confusing. Okay, up until now, all of our vowels have been dots and lines. This vowel is actually a letter with a dot, right? So this vav with a dot, right, is pronounced o. Okay, now when so in absence of the actual vav with the dot, you also have this when the dot is above the word, above the letter, which again, we've never encountered before. This is brand new. So the first line would be mo, ho. Now here's an interesting, let's skip this one. Ho and lo. And if we go down to line 2, same exact thing, but now you've got the vav in that place with the dot on top. So it's mo, ho, sho, ho, lo. Same thing. Now we're going back to where I circled the shin. Remember I told you there's dots, and if it's on the left, it's on the right. Now this dot is on the left, on the left, so it's a shin, but you've got the dot on the right, which makes it o. It might be one of the most confusing things. Well, it might be one of the most confusing things, but that is pronounced sho also. Okay, so
Why is there a difference? Like on the top line is show, then the next line is also show. Where is that at the beginning or at the end? Is that what it is?
say that again. Is it what at the end?
It's show on line 1, then on line 2 it's show again. Where would you see those differences? At the end of a line or at
You know what? It's a grammatical thing for whether you have the vav there or if the dot is just placed up there without the vav. It's just a grammatical thing. So I'm trying to think of if there's any words where it doesn't matter whether you use the vav or not. And I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I bet I will for next week. But so that, it is confusing. Sharon, yeah.
Yeah, could you please read those first 2 lines again?
Sure.
I'm not seeing the difference
Okay.
between the mo and the mo, line 1
There-
and line
it's-
2.
Line 1 and line 2 are the exact same thing.
Oh, it sounded a
it's-
little different.
No,
when you
it's
did.
the exact same thing.
Okay.
It's just a matter of whether you have the vav that holds the little dot on top of it or the little dot's floating by itself.
Okay,
That's all. It's the
All
same
right.
thing.
got it then.
Both the same. And so I'm just going to write this down. Where's my pen? Page 13 is one that I will read. I will read into a recording for you guys because I think
good.
it's going to be confusing.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Sharon, why don't you try line 3?
Okay. Loch loch, lol, lol, lom, loam, loch, loch,
Loch.
lol.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes. Okay. Lila, line 4.
Loam, 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 loam.
There you go. All right. So do line 5 because line 4 was like,
Okay. Sha, shall, shallow, sha, loam, sha, loam, shalom.
there you go. And they put an exclamation mark on the end because they're like, now you know one more word in Shalom Aleichem, Shalom.
Shalom.
So, they get very excited. The authors of the book. All right, Claire, why don't you do line 7 because line 6 is the same thing all around.
Shalom, Melech. Shalom. Malachim.
Now remember,
Shalom, Melech.
right. So now I'm going to share again. Remember that,
Malchim.
yes. No, I'm sorry. No, melachim, right? This word right here. It's a toughie because you have the shva underneath the mem. So it's melachim, right?
Melachim.
So sometimes it comes out and it sounds like it's an underneath, right? Like melachim. So you're kind of not pronouncing the all the way, but you're trying to stop yourself because it's a syllable. So it comes out melachim, right? So, but in order to blend it together, sometimes you have to say me. So it's confusing. It's very confusing. Like I said, this page is a good page for me to record for you guys. Okay. Terry, do you want to do line 8?
Okay. Shalom. The Melech. Ham. Lachim. The Melech. Malchai. Ham. Lachim.
Amazing. That was a hard line, Terry. You got an extra point for today.
Thank you.
I mean, it's like your supermarket points. I don't know if it does anything for you, but hey,
Oh,
I'm happy. They're free, so I might as well give them out, right?
Right.
yes,
Can't hurt.
absolutely.
All right, Sharon, line 9. Oh, Alice, line 9.
Li, lacha, lach, lo, lach, lachem, lachem.
Right.
Lachem,
Good.
lachem.
Lachem, right. It's hard to go back and forth between that guttural ch and the h, right? Because we're so used to pronouncing those the same. Okay. So here, this line 10 is a very interesting line. Sharon, do you want to go and read that?
Okay. Shalom li, shalom lach, shalom lech,
Lecha.
lecha, lecha. Okay. Shalom lo.
Perfect. Now that line is very interesting. I'll give you a little bit more to this line. We all know the word shalom. Hello, goodbye, peace, right?
Right.
Okay. So shalom li means, let's just say it means goodbye here, or hello. We'll make it in the positive, right? Shalom li, hello to me. Shalom lecha, hello to you. And again, I'm not going to go into it because it's more grammatical than you need, but lecha is a male version, right? So I would say shalom lecha to a man. Shalom, I'm sorry. The second word is shalom lach, which is to a female. I would say that to a woman, shalom lach. Shalom lecha, the third phrase, is to a man. And shalom lo would be to him, right? If I was saying, oh, hello to him across the room, that's who I'd be saying it to. So just interesting that this, a lot of the stuff we're reading is all gibberish and doesn't make sense. These are actually phrases that make sense. The line 11 is all the same, shalom lachem, which actually means hello to all of you, right? So again, very interesting. The last line, shalom leichem, again, gibberish phrase. Let's go back up to page 1 and see what we know. We know shalom. Well, we don't really know malache, but you could kind of figure it out from here, right? We know, oh, hold on. I thought I was sharing my screen, but I'm not. Okay. We know this part of the word, hasha, right? Malache elyon. We know this, mi melech. Now, one would ask, why would you put this shva that we learned today underneath the last word the last letter in a word? Because it's a word we're going to stop, right? So it doesn't matter. Again, it's a grammatical thing. So malchei, hamlachim, and then Hakadosh Baruch Hu we'll get to. So now of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the first stanza of the 12 words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 12 words. So halfway through, half of the words in that stanza, right? So when we put it all together, hopefully, things will start making sense and they will pop off the page at you and whatnot. And that's what we're looking for. Okay. I'm going to go to 14. Okay. And this might, let's take a 5-minute break before we go into this, because this is another weird concept. So we're learning 2 weird concepts today, the O and the Ayin, which I'm going to teach you in a second. And then I think we're going to stop for the day because I really don't want to confuse so many things, because I want you guys to really concentrate on those things and not confuse those, because they're so difficult. So let's take a 5-minute break. I'm going to go refill my water. I was drinking soda before this, and now I need to go back to my water. And I'll be back.
I left my water here.
Oh, I just threw it out.
Thank you.
Are you gonna want a piece of cantaloupe?
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, I should have not shared my screen so you guys could talk to each other. I'm sorry about that.
Lymor,
Yeah.
I have a question on when the shin is a sin, do you always use the vav letter to say
Not
own?
necessarily. Not
Like
necessarily.
how do you,
So
write that?
sometimes the sin is a double duty dot. And it's one of those things, kind of like we have sight words in English where like the word could, C-O-U-L-D. That's something that you need to know as a sight word. It's not something that you can phonetically spell out. And that's kind of the way the sin would be with the O vowel, is that it does double duty and you would need to know that it's doing a double duty. It's one of those sight words that you would need to know. There's not that many of them, but you would need to know that. And so a lot of times, I'm just trying to think in the Siddur if there's anything, I can't think of it. I can think of Torah readings where that's happened, but I haven't thought, I can't, I don't think about the Siddur. There might be, and I just don't know. There probably is, and I just don't know. So we're not going to get to sin for a while. Even though we're going ahead of the schedule that I had put together. The schedule I had put together, we weren't going to get to it to mid-May. So even if we are running 1 or 2 lessons above, we're still not going to get to it by Passover, probably. I don't, again, once we get to like Purim, mid-March, I'm going to look at the Haggadah and I'm going to see what we might be able to learn so that we can have something to, you can have something to show off at the Seder, whether that's a cup of Kiddush, or if it's, just a reading of something. And so I'm gonna go through it because I think that'll be fun for you guys and important that, you're showing.
It'd be great.
Right, exactly. So even the other day I was saying to somebody, I was saying to Corinne, one of my co-chair for Women's League committee, that, we're going a lot faster. She said, well, then they'll have more to read for Pesach. I was like, oh, that's exactly what I was thinking. So she thought the same thing when I said it to her. So it'll be good. It'll be good. And it's something that I'm going to recommend to Julia, that when they do these courses, that they do it so that it ends, maybe a week before Pesach or 2 weeks before Pesach, so that, maybe it starts earlier, 1st of January or something like that, and ends right before Pesach, so that people can read whatever they want out of the Haggadah, right? That sort of thing. But well, I think we're going to make a good chunk before Passover. Passover is, mid-April, so we'll make a good dent. So it'll be good. And this year I'm not cooking for Passover. It's my first year in like, I don't know, probably 20 years. So
Lucky you.
I know. We're going to go visit my daughter in Indiana where she goes to school. And we're going to join the Hillel for whatever they do for Passover. And then I will cook, but I won't cook for the Seder. We rented an Airbnb and I'll cook there for Passover. The one thing we love going to go visit our daughters, they have some really great restaurants there. And we're like, well, we won't be able to eat in any of them, but okay.
Where in
Well,
Indiana
again,
is
some
she?
other time.
She's in Bloomington, Indiana University. Yeah. So, And God willing, my son will be in Michigan State next year, so they'll all be in the Midwest.
Oh,
So it will be good. It will be good. Okay. Everybody ready? Refreshed? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen because this is pretty important. Okay. So this letter here is called an ayin. Okay.
mhm.
And it's silent. It doesn't say anything. The Sephardim, the ayin is a very important letter for the Sephardim. So let's go through line 1, and then I'm going to teach you a little bit about how the Sephardim pronounce it, and you'll hear it and you'll know. And it's nothing that you need to know to be able to read it. It's just something that if you hear a Sephardi reading it, you'll know why it sounds a little different. That's all. So the first line, E, A, O, O. So again, if the letter wasn't there and it was just vowels, that's what you'd read, right?
Mhm.
So it's silent. Now, the Sephardim will pronounce it, I have to get it in my voice here. A, right? They will, it's almost an Arabic, like guttural, sound. And so that's why we have that letter, because it means different things to different people, right? So if you ever hear that in someone's pronunciation, then you know they're using the Sephardic pronunciation of that. So that's why that's important of anything. And there's another silent letter, which we're going to learn about next week, because I'm not going to teach you 2 silent letters and a crazy vowel in 1 week and blow your mind. But that one, so that's why we have, you're going to wonder, why do we have 2 silent letters that really do nothing? Well, because of this Sephardi thing. So
Could you repeat the pronunciation?
the
for the-
Sephardi pronunciation,
Yeah.
A, right? You hear the like, I don't know, Kermit the Froggy, like, thing there. And again, it sounds Arabic, right? Like it, and that's the Sephardi way of pronouncing the ayin. They gutturally pronounce the ayin, right? Again, you don't need it. You don't need to know it. You just need to know it's a silent letter and all of that. I just wanted you to know, in case you ever hear somebody and you're following along when they're reading Torah or they're davening or whatever, and they kind of pronounce it that way, that it's not wrong. It's just the Sephardi way.
I think the Sparties pronounce Shabbat. I've heard that, Shabbat.
They may, yeah, they may. And the Ashkenaz pronounce it Shabbos, right?
Yes.
Like, right?
Shabbos.
Shabbos, right? They pronounce their taf, unless it has a dot in the middle, which we're gonna, again, don't put this in your brain right now. Unless it has a dot in the middle, they pronounce it as a sa instead of a saf instead of a taf, right? But we'll get to that when we get to it, which is going to be maybe next week. So, but so that's the Ashkenazi pronunciation, but in a conservative, again, I'll give you a little bit more information than what you need. In a conservative setting, we usually use the Israeli Hebrew, which is based on the Sephardi, right? Except for this ayin piece or whatever, like it's its own kind of dialect, right? The Israeli dialect is what we use. Whereas if you go to an Orthodox synagogue, you're going to hear more of that traditional Ashkenazi pronunciation. So, I mean, when I used to teach 6th and 7th grade Hebrew school, the curriculum was teach them how the Siddur is laid out, right? Teach them all the services, how the Siddur is laid out so that they could walk into any synagogue anywhere in the world, hear what's going on, and be able to flip to the right page. And so explaining that how things are different in a Sephardic synagogue versus a modern Orthodox synagogue versus a conservative synagogue, or maybe even Reform synagogue, might be a little different. Okay, so that's your extra tidbit for the day. Okay, so I'll read line 2, and then I'm gonna just start calling on you guys. Il, ale, el, ol, al. All right, Alice, you want line 3?
Al, olam, melech, olam.
Okay, Sharon, you want line 4?
Okay.
Lechem,
All. Aleichem. Aleichem.
Uh-huh.
Aleichem. Aleichem.
Lechem,
Aleichem. Aleichem. Aleichem.
All right. Lila, line 5.
Al, lay, hem, alechem, 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 alechem.
All right, Claire, you get the line with the exclamation mark, line 6. I can't give it to Terry again because she already got an extra point today.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem.
Right. So again, and I'm going to flip up and I'm going to flip back. We're on page 14. So now we know this entire phrase, which is the name of the song, the first 2 words of the song, Shalom Aleichem, right? So we're so excited that we put an exclamation mark on the end of that. I know I make fun of this book, but you know, it's a method and everybody's got their own method, and I'm happy to go with this method. If I had to write a book, I don't know if it would be the same, but I never wrote a book, so I can't complain. Okay, so line 7, Terry, let's get you on line 7.
Aleichem, shalom,
Aleichem,
aleichem,
Shalom,
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 shalom, shalom.
Right. So if you ever heard someone say Shalom Aleichem, and then they respond with Aleichem Shalom, right? So that's another little phrase they're teaching me here, right? Shalom Aleichem means let there be peace unto you, right? Aleichem Shalom means let there be unto you, let there be peace. It's kind of like the same thing. Like, I don't know if you have ever heard in Hebrew, Boker Or, Boker Tov. Like there are different ways of responding to people that say that. I'm trying to even think of a way in English that happens. But I can't think of it. Okay. Sharon, you want to
Yes.
take line 8?
We'll try. Shalom Aleichem.
Malahei,
Okay. Halakim.
Hameh.
Halakim. Right?
Hamelachim. It's a hard one.
Hamelakim. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Meh. Because of. Okay. Oh, okay. I've got it.
Good.
Not,
Yeah.
not hum, but hameh.
Ham.
When it runs together.
Right. And sometimes Hamlachim.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense to me. Ham lakim. Alakim. No, alakem. Alekem. Aleichem
Yes.
shalom. Aleichem shalom. Aleichem
Yes,
shalom.
that was a hard one. That was
Yeah.
a really, really hard one. All right, Alice, line 9, which actually is like it's a line that goes overboard. It's more than a line, but
Shalom Limelech Malchei Hamlachim Shalom Melech Haolam.
good. Lila, line 10.
Shalom Melech HaShalom Shalom Shalom
Ha shalom.
HaShalom.
Yep. Okay. Claire, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and do line 11.
Shalom lemelech hamalachim lemelech hashalom.
Right. Ham lachim, very, very hard word. It's not an easy word. Ham lachim, right? Yeah.
Hamlachim lemelech hashalom.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. I'm going to record page 13 and 14 for you guys. I will send it probably either later tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. So you have it to practice. If you get stuck on something that I pronounced wrong, which I'm human, that happens, or that you thought was one way and it's another way or whatever, drop me a quick email. We'll find a quick time to Zoom or to speak over the phone, and we'll take care of it. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.